okay? So here's what we're doing. Here's your work, and you want to, you've knit, and you want to bind off. So you've just got a piece of fabric, knit fabric, and you want to bind off in such a manner that you're not going to lose all of these stitches or they're going to unravel on you. So this is the simplest way to do it, the most straightforward way. There are many techniques. This is the most basic technique that I'm going to show you now. So you're going to knit as you would ordinarily. You're going to do 1 knit stitch, 2 knit stitches, okay? You've got 2 stitches over here on your right hand needle. You're going to take the very first stitch that you knit and you are going to pass it over the second stitch that you knit. And that is your first cast off stitch right here. And you've cast it off safely. It's anchored by this one, so it's very safe. It's not going to unravel. So now you've got 1 stitch left on your right hand needle. You need to have a second stitch. So you're going to knit a second stitch onto your right hand needle again. And you're going to pass this first stitch over the one that you just knit. And you can see again, you just bound off that. It's very neat, it's very lovely, and it's most importantly, very secure. Yes. Your work will not unravel. So to do this, you're going to always maintain 2 on this side, take 1 off, knit another one. So you've got 2 on the right hand side, pull the first one off over the second one. Can you see how pretty it is?
It starts to get those sort of V shapes.
You see the V from the net? Yeah, these are your legs right here. But you see in the top of them instead of the sides of them. It's very pretty. So this is your basic bind off. Now I'm coming to the end here. And again, you always have to keep 2 on this needle to get this off. Okay, so now I've got 1 left here. So this is my final bind off stitch right here, this first one over the second one, and now I've got 1 stitch. Crikey, what am I going to do with 1 stitch, you ask? So you make this large enough so that you don't lose this loop, and then you're going to cut this, and you can see the way that this lays. Can you see how your stitches lay like this? They lay nice and flat and neat and in order. So you're going to have this laying the same way. Can you see that? So this would be forming your next stitch, and I'm going to pull this loose end through, and this is going to anchor my last stitch, but it looks like a stitch because of the way I laid it out and I pulled it through the center like that. It looks like a stitch. So now you're completely bound off, everything is secure, nothing's going anywhere. It's a good thing, people. It's a good thing, and it's a basic technique. And it's important to cast off, bind off. If you're in England, you're going to say cast off, but here we're binding off. The only thing is, make sure that you don't do it too tightly, because often it's an edge that you're binding off, and you don't want it to be too tight. Otherwise your work will be out here, and then your bind off will be stuck in here somewhere. So make sure it's nice and loose so you've got flexibility. But that's it, folks. If you've got any questions, you let me know. I'm going to switch cameras back now.